Only on NBC5, new video shows a Collin County teacher dragging a young boy with autism on a playground.
I don't want it to happen to someone else's child.
Have the umbrella handy. More rain on the way, plus a flash flood watch. I'll tell you how much rain to expect.
Then see the big multi-million-dollar expansion of one of the most popular parks in North Texas, hours before the big announcement.
You're watching NBC5 News at 10.
Only on NBC5, a Collin County mother is outraged over what happens in this video here. You see a teacher dragging her 4-year-old autistic son across a school playground. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Curtis.
And I'm Laura Harris. Meredith is off tonight. The teacher has now resigned, but the child's family still has questions.
Collin County reporter Meredith Yeomans has the story you will see only on 5.
Come on.
Parenting a special needs child.
It's challenging at times.
Something Lynetta Moore knows firsthand. Her 4-year-old son, Jonathan, is autistic. He struggles communicating.
He's more of a gesture person, or he'll point you to it or pull you towards it.
She says she learned what happened at Jonathan's school last Thursday through a note home from his teacher.
The day of the incident, the teacher had sent me a note home. The note had basically said that Jonathan had ran away from her on the playground. That was it.
Surveillance video at Hartman Elementary tells a different story. You see his teacher kneel down by a play set trying to get Jonathan to come out.
And I guess she wasn't successful. And then you see her dragging.
Jonathan is dragged by his feet across the ground.
That's his right rib cage.
Moore showed us photos of his scratches, but the worst part, she says, is what happened next.
You see him drop to the ground, he doesn't move, and then you see a bunch of teachers crowd around him, and you don't know what's happening. All you see him just laying there.
2 minutes go by, then you see Jonathan being pulled off the playground, all while other staff was there.
I think that's the biggest setback to me as a parent. You see this happen. As an adult, nobody stepped in.
In a statement, Wiley ISD said in part, the district does not condone discipline or physical contact that may result in injury to a child. Wiley ISD took immediate action. The teacher is no longer working in Wiley ISD.
Whoa, he flipped down.
Moore says she took Jonathan out of school after seeing the video, which she feels raises more questions than it answers.
Honestly, I don't want it to happen to someone else's child. That's a big thing. And my huge question is, did it happen before?
Tonight, the principal here at Hartman Elementary sent out an email to parents letting them know the teacher no longer works here. The district has been in contact with the family. They say they've notified Wiley Police, CPS, the TEA, and conducted their own investigation. In Wiley tonight, Meredith Yeomans, NBC5.
The district says all teachers who work with children who have special needs undergo annual training for situations just like this one. A spokesperson points out it was a teacher who notified them about what happened.
Well, we have a weather alert tonight after a break from the rain today. More, unfortunately, is on the way. Chief Meteorologist Rick Mitchell has the timing. Rick?
Yeah, it was a nice break today, but rain will be likely through the day tomorrow. And because of that, a flash flood watch has been posted from Dallas-Fort Worth to the south and to the west. We've had several inches of rain this week. You know how it is. The soil is saturated, and additional rain will probably cause some problems, especially in areas of poor drainage. DFW dry right now, but the rain is beginning or continuing to develop back to the west. As we look at the S-band radar, the heavier rain now moving through portions of Wise County up through Decatur. I expect the rain to increase as we go through the late overnight hours, perhaps some wet weather for the drive into work. I'll have the rest of the timeline, and hey, when we're going to finally see some sunshine as well coming up in a bit.
Can't wait for that. Thank you, Rick. Here is a live look at Clyde Warren Park, where things are about to change in a big way. A $76 million expansion was just announced, adding a new pavilion, more green space, and parking. Here's where Clyde Warren is right now, but soon it will expand to the west, closer to the Perot Museum. Jack Heiberger is live at Clyde Warren with more. Jack?
You know, Brian, it was just over 10 years ago that all of this was created more or less from nothing. And at the time, there was a bit of skepticism people would actually come out and enjoy this park. But flash forward, and the focus is now squarely on just making the park even better. It's a green oasis amid concrete, steel, and glass. And with a $76 million plan, Clyde Warren Park is now set to grow.
Good for Dallas. Good for the folks that work here. Good for the people that live here, too.
Its convenience is one reason the park averages about 100,000 guests every month. And planners hope a 1.2-acre expansion that will include a two-story, roughly 16 to 20,000 square foot pavilion will only help to build on the park's popularity.
More amenities will help us to come more quite often to this place.
Every chance they get, I say, hey, we're going to Clyde Warren Park. They're like, yeah, let's go. They like it. It's great.
This is epic. I know.
As part of the planned expansion, a nearly half-acre extension will be constructed over Woodall Rogers Freeway, with the pavilion set to hold an elaborate visitors center, along with a parking garage built directly below. But notably missing from the plan, according to the Dallas Morning News, are the previously proposed pedestrian walkways to both the Perot Museum and the Arts District. And when this original project was done about a decade ago, Woodall Rogers was often backed up because of the construction. It remains to be seen what impact, if any, this project will have on traffic. Reporting live in Dallas, Jack Heiberger, NBC5.
Thank you, Jack. Well, we may get answers on that tomorrow morning when park and city leaders make the official announcement. Funding for the project will come from a combination of private and public money.
Some big news tonight about Irving's Toyota Music Factory project. After months of fighting and lawsuits, the city council tonight voted to pay the developer the $44 million that has been in dispute, and the lawsuits have now been dropped. The developer and the city council majority praised the solution tonight.
Now to the U.S. Senate race in Texas. Both major candidates are pushing hard with early voting set to begin on Monday. Senator Ted Cruz and Congressman Beto O'Rourke were in front of TV cameras tonight. Cruz in Dallas and O'Rourke in McAllen. Cruz spoke to reporters after a roundtable meeting with the Texas Municipal Police Association. He talked about President Trump's rally on Monday in Houston, which Cruz will also attend.
We initially were doing it in the NRG Center, and it turned out that attendance were so high that they moved it to the Toyota Center where the Rockets play. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a big rally, a lot of excitement.
The original location holds about 8,000 people. The new location seats about 18,000. O'Rourke, meanwhile, was on CNN for a town hall discussion. Cruz was invited but decided not to participate. O'Rourke was asked why he used President Trump's derogatory nickname for Cruz, Lion Ted, in their debate on Tuesday night.
I said, look, he's dishonest. It's one of the reasons that he got tagged with this nickname, and that nickname resonates because it's true. But I got to tell you, it's not something that I feel totally comfortable with. And perhaps in the heat of the moment, I took a step too far.
Election Day, November 6th, is just 18 days away now. Early voting begins on Monday and ends on November 2nd.
Well, new tonight, the parents fighting to keep their 9-year-old daughter on life support fired back at Cook Children's Hospital, their latest attempt to end the battle. Yesterday, the hospital challenged a ruling giving the family one more week to find a different facility to care for Peyton Summons. Well, the hospital says Peyton is brain dead, and it is, quote, morally repugnant to keep her on life support. A response from the family's attorneys says the hospital's appeal is, quote, not in the best interest of Peyton, her parents' wishes, and the court.
Nearly 400 people came out tonight to speak against a proposed concrete plant outside of Mansfield. The state has given preliminary approval to the site on Gibson Cemetery Road in unincorporated Tarrant County. Alice Barr joins us live from tonight's meeting. Alice, that was an awfully big crowd.
Big crowd and passionate. They're still going for 3 hours now. Tonight is their last chance to speak out before the State Environmental Commission makes a final decision on a permit, and they are not going out without a fight.
Come here, girl.
2 years ago, Renee Luna traded city life for the country. A horse to feed, s'mores by the fire, and the wide open sky.
It's peaceful out here, you know, and the quality of air, you know. In the evening times, you can see the clear sky. There's no...
Now he worries plans for a concrete batch plant within eyesight of his property.
As you can see, those tanks within 400 yards, I'm sure,
could change all that.
It's surrounded by hardworking families, you know, and we don't want that plant near.
Luna is worried about air pollution, noise, and increased truck traffic here on Gibson Cemetery Road.
The roads are narrow cities, they're small, and they can only hold so much traffic.
Would you live here?
next door to this.
Close to 400 neighbors raised the same concerns tonight to members of the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality and the president of the company behind the proposed plant, John Sheffield.
I think it's misconstrued, and I think we have some explaining to do and maybe make people feel a little bit better.
For starters, Sheffield says a concrete batch plant is not the same as a cement plant and won't have the same pollution.
The cement comes in on a sealed truck. It is blown up into a sealed silo with a dust collector, so there's no aggregate dust going all over the place.
But neighbors don't believe it.
I have seen many batch plants. I'm a commercial general contractor. They do create dust, absolutely.
And they showed tonight they're here to fight to keep their piece of the country peaceful.
Yes, I can beat this.
The company president also is promising minimal truck traffic. He already stores and moves acid for the fracking industry from that site and says he has had no complaints. Reporting live in Kennedale, Alice Barr, NBC5.
Thank you, Alice. After 80 years, the family-owned furniture store with the catchy jingle where you can afford your dreams is closing. Freed's Furniture is going out of business, closing its final 2 stores in Dallas and Plano. The company's roots date back to 1938, when Dave Freed and his sons sold used furniture in Deep Ellum. Coming up, hope in the fight against a mysterious paralysis affecting children. The treatment with stunning results.
Plus, new relief for a common discomfort, the medical marijuana product designed specifically for women.
Then it's a one-of-a-kind program at a North Texas high school. How the leader, who was once a dropout, is changing the lives of students.